Absolute domination. We just saw what, based on what they're saying statistics are, the most dominant win in NASCAR Xfinity Series history, and it was by Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst with possibly the most dominant win ever in this series. Really quick, give you guys the playoff standings heading into the final two races of the round of 8. John Hunter Nemechek is plus 47. Justin Allgaier plus 21. Austin Hill plus 19. Cole Custer plus 15. Then the bottom four are Chandler Smith minus 15. Sam Mayer minus 16. Sammy Smith minus 35. And Sheldon Creed minus 41. But welcome everybody to the post-race of the 2023 Allsco Uniforms 302. That is, not 300. This race was 201 laps long, 5 cautions with 6 leaders, 11 lead changes for 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 32 seconds. The official margin of victory, 14.959 seconds. Just a hair shy of a 15-second win for Riley Herbst. Listen, I have been defending Riley Herbst on his improvement. He fell off in the second half of the season. But man, I even was never going to see this coming. Maybe at some point every driver has like 3 or 4 second or 5 second win. 15 seconds for Herbst, of all people, who emulated his boss, Tony Stewart, climbing the fence. Hometown boy gets the win. And let's get into this race really quick. And yeah, last 20 laps, he wasn't even trying. I mean, those laps were 30 seconds. He won by half a lap in the stage era. That car is on rails. I'm fingers crossed that nothing happens in tech. I know some people have brought that up because this was utter domination. If I'm Cole Custer, I am asking for whatever the hell was in that car come Homestead next week. Because, like I said, that's just pure, utter domination. I see the broadcast is ending here. So let's get into the finishing order of the 2023 Allsco Uniforms 302. I'll get to those member chats in a moment, but I want to thank you guys for that. Riley Herbst, like I said, with a 14.959 second win, a 15-second win for Riley Herbst over John Hunter Nemechek. Then Cole Custer in third. Fourth is Chandler Smith. Fifth, Sam Mayer, who's had an abysmal year when it comes to these mile-and-a-half tracks. And this is the intermediates in general. Justin Allgaier holds off Austin Hill. So 6th for Allgaier. Hill in 7th. I'm going to turn off the broadcast because they're not even in Vegas anymore. Then you got Brandon Jones with a 8th place finish. Oh, light's falling over there. Everything is falling everywhere, man. All right, we're good. 9th is Daniel Hemrick and Lane Riggs with a great run. Top 10 for Lane Riggs. That's it. That is your lead lap. The top 10 is all that finished on the lead lap. And 4th on back, we're 20 or more seconds back. And it's, yeah, utter domination is the name of the game here. Myatt Snyder in the 19 comes home a lap down in 11th. And everyone until 15th is a lap down here. 12th is Josh Berry. Parker Kligerman 13th. 14th is Parker Retzlaff, so Parker's 13th and 14th. And Sheldon Creed, first race back after we learned that he won't be at RCR, will be 15th on the grid today, finishing off 2 laps down for Ryan Sieg in 16th, 2 down as well for Sammy Smith in 17th after an abysmal day in the pits for the 18 team. Kyle Sieg, 18th, 2 laps down. 19th is Connor Mosack, 2 laps down as well. Ryan Reed gets a top 20 in his return to NASCAR, 3 laps down in the 66 and 20th. 21st, Daniel Dye, 3 down. Jeb Burton, 4 laps off the pace in 22nd. Rajah Caruth, 23rd, kept it going after that wreck early, but just not a good day overall for Rajah either. 4 down as well for Brett Moffitt in 24th. 25th, 4 off the pace is Brennan Poole. Then Stephen Parsons, 26th, 4 laps down. Ryan Ellis also 4 down in 27th. Blaine Perkins, 28th. 6 laps off the pace. CJ McLaughlin, 7 laps off the pace. 29th. 30th, 8 laps down, Jeremy Clements, Dawson Cram, and Joey Gase, 31st and 32nd, also 8 laps off the pace. 33rd on down, out of this race, Josh Williams in 33rd, Anthony Alfredo 34th, Kaz Grala 35th, 36th, Kyle Weatherman, 38th, the 38th of Joe Graff Jr. in 37th, and Patrick Emmerling 38th, a lap down. Real quick, thank you to those member chats for being a member for a month apiece for Jimmy Leos and Darren Dixon. Jimmy saying, hi, that was a great race and happy for the 98 team. Yep. And Darren saying took forever. But looking, I mean, listen, we have plenty to talk about, but man, Riley Herbst setting what is more than likely the record for the most dominant win in Xfinity history just blows my mind. Because if you remember, I've been very critical on Riley Herbst's development, and he has gotten much better as a driver. I'm hoping next year that he can take that next step. He and Stuart Haas Racing. But I'm with KAGG here. I don't know how you want me to say the name, but I was glad not to see any cautions. Sometimes pure domination needs to be appreciated, and this was pure domination for a hometown guy. And it's Noah Coleman says he shattered the Vegas record held by Jeff Burton. I bet. Let's get into this, though. Starting with stage 1, Josh Berry was on the pole, while I believe John Hunter Nemechek was all the way in the back, I should say. Starting last, they did not get a qualifying run in, so he had to charge through the field. He charged pretty damn quick through the field. On lap 1, you have Custer kind of threatening the lead, but Berry would establish it early. It was lap 4 where we saw the earliest carnage here. Patrick Emmerling, thumbnail driver we got here, he erupted in smoke on the front stretch, got in his own oil, and up into the wall, bringing out the first caution of the day. That would then have, I believe, Chandler Smith on the ensuing restart make it past Josh Berry. Again, very racy first half, very carnage-filled start, as Joe Graff Jr. would be hard into the front stretch wall as well after Brett Moffitt got into the wall, slow ahead of him, and he had nowhere to go but into the back of Moffitt, and then from there, just sort of right up in the wall. There was nowhere whatsoever for him to go. With that, though, you've got another restart. This time it's Custer and Smith who get ahead of Berry. And Custer would really establish the lead early. It was a full-on Stuart Haas day for the most part here, because Custer won stage 1 over Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, Hemrick, and Austin Hill, the top 5. Then Nemechek up to 6th in the first stage, from 38th spot to 6th. I know Nemechek finished 2nd in this race, and it was by a far margin. But it should be appreciated just how far he came and how quickly he came up there. Great run for Nemechek. Allgaier with the 7th place run in stage 1. Brandon Jones, Kligerman, and Riley Herbst round out the top 10. Herbst was definitely not the most dominant early, but just something either with him or that car or that team, something clicked, and it was off to the races later on. Stage 2. There was another restart. The restart today, I think, had some great racing when it came to the leader. For the most part, did not fire off ahead of the field, which I appreciated. It seemed like that 2nd place guy could really stay there. And that's going to really interest me for tomorrow, just because we've seen restarts with the next-gen car at Las Vegas where somebody can hold off a better car, or, you know, depending on how hard you race them, similar to like Texas, what Bubba did. The guy at the disadvantage, per se, can get ahead. So I'm really interested to see if we have that tomorrow. But there really was nothing too awful dominant about any restart today. Again, the 00 and the 10 were side by side for about a lap and a half, give or take, before Custer got the lead. And right after that, you had Kaz Grala with an engine issue, which collected Raja Caruth, Jeremy Clements, Josh Williams, Kyle Weatherman, and Anthony Alfredo. Brought out a red flag, too, because there was just oil all over the track. But I will say, great luck not for Raja. It sucked for him, and I do feel bad for Raja being caught up in that. But great luck for NBC being on Raja's cam when that happened. It was like the perfect place that a camera could be at, or they could switch it to. So good on NBC for that, even if there were a few issues today, namely just Rick Allen saying the wrong names a couple times again. I don't know what's up with Rick Allen. He's been a little bit, it seems like he's been a little bit off the second half of NBC's side of the season. But, a red flag there. That's probably why we didn't get so much post-race coverage on the broadcast, is that red flag took up all the extra allotted time with it. Lap 59, though, we got our final restart of the stage. Again, it is Custer versus Hemrick. This time, again, I believe Custer would get ahead. Nemechek would follow him. But let's see. Looking at stages, I believe, was it Riley Herbst who got the win in stage 2, though he would get the lead. Custer second, Nemechek third, fourth was Allgaier, fifth was Hemrick, then Chandler Smith, I should say, Barry, Mayer, Sammy Smith, and Brandon Jones, your top 10 in stage 2. From there, on lap 97, we have our restart. Custer would beat Herbst on the restart. So would Nemechek. Herbst back to third, but at that point, it really only took about 8 laps for Herbst to make quick work of both of them. There were green flag pit stops in the middle of this final go-round. But, no, there was reason for that red flag. I'm just looking in the chat really quick. Yeah, some might have said there was no reason. There was total reason for that red flag. There were green flag pit stops, though, around 63 to go. He had Nemechek with a close call into the pits. Sammy Smith was really the big loser. Twice he had pit issues, once for a loose lug nut. This time, though, under green for a loose wheel. And from this point, though, the 98 team was perfect on pit road, perfect on the track. Driver was perfect today. There was no going up against Riley Herbst in this one. It was a battle for second. With 35 to go, it was between Chandler Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Cole Custer. At that point, the lead was 10 seconds, and we're like, holy crap, that's huge. Then 11 seconds, only a couple laps later, after Nemechek gets to second. Meaning in the final 32 laps, Riley Herbst outpaced John Hunter Nemechek by 4 seconds. Man, that's amazing to think about. Wow. It's just crazy to me. I mean, and a lot of that came in the 10 laps after. From lap 32 to go to 20 to go, the lead went from 11 seconds to 14, and then gained only a second the last 20 laps of the run when they told him basically just to back it down. Nothing really more of note happened at the end of this race. Cole Custer got past Chandler Smith for third and held him off. Allgaier held off Austin Hill, but it was all Riley Herbst. And that's really who we should be focusing on here. Riley Herbst with a definitive win, a dominating win, and maybe a win that can set him off into the end of this season, into next really well. I talked a little bit on Wednesday night on the podcast, which, by the way, you can check out episode 250 on Danny B's channel this week on Wednesday. But I talked about how, maybe Sam Mayer doing better and winning more kind of reminded me of Noah Gragson the year before his breakout season. Maybe it's Riley Herbst's turn. Maybe it's a Vegas thing. I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into it past this, just because there are times the 98 just will fire off and Herbst will be really good in these races, and I don't want to read too much into it. But I will say, I mean, when a 15-second win should have some waves. That's the best way I can say with it. But yeah, man, I mean, dominant win. Looking at the playoff standings, again, John Hunter Nemechek is first at the moment, plus 47 with 2 races remaining in the round of 8. Allgaier is second, plus 21. Austin Hill, plus 19 in third. And Cole Custer, plus 15 in fourth. Fifth, 15 behind, obviously, Custer is Chandler Smith. Sam Mayer, minus 16 in sixth. Sammy Smith, minus 35 in 7th, and Sheldon Creed minus 41 in 8th. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think that Sammy Smith and Sheldon Creed are must wins. And I think John Hunter Nemechek is the closest you can ever be to safe at this point. I don't see Sammy Smith getting a win personally. I really don't see Creed getting it either. I still think that Mayer is going to get in there. I don't know why. I probably am wrong, but wow. That was insane. I mean, when everyone is, because I see people in the chat saying how like Herbst, he might have been, cheating, or how is this or how is that. When you're wondering that much about it, that is a complete dominant win. Looking here at some stuff just to end off here, 154th start, and now at his home track. Here come the sirens, of course they are. But man, I mean, it's not much more you can say. So, y'all, I think that's about it. And here, man, there's a lot of sirens today. But I think that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow after the Cup race on Big NBC. And I don't know much more really to say from there. I will say, I am definitely, I'm having a bit of a good day. On a non-NASCAR note for a second, I saw Has Been Hotels getting their first season on Prime, and I think they're greenlit for a second. If you haven't watched that, you should. The pilot's online. It's really good. If you have, finally. So good stuff there. But now there's not much more to say. It's hard to put into words that dominant of a win today, though, by Herbst. But y'all, I think that this is going to be it. I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night, and later.